Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. The title of this Newsbeat Show is The Fix, and pretty much it's trying to just fix some of the scalping issues that myself, others might have been approaching as well in this market, just simply by me looking at my charts and just simply trying to figure out a better way. That's it. There's nothing secretive or magical about it, but hopefully, it will create magical results, which is my goal to constantly evolve you in the market. The market is always going to change. And when it changes, believe it or not, a lot of people just start doing better. So it's not necessarily a bad thing for everyone. But for some people, depending on your personality, depending on your style, it can be good and or bad. So for the most part, what I've realized is it's not always. They often go hand in hand. I don't know what percentage of the time. If I were to guess, I would say 75% of the time they go hand in hand. Meaning, if the swing traders are suffering, the intraday traders are suffering, and vice versa. And that's usually how it works. So when the market goes down, again, as you know, most traders will lose money. Most traders will lose money swinging and things like that. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing because it sort of throws up alignment. Not a good thing that people lose money, but a good thing that we're able to notice some form of alignment there because that allows us to react. I'm going to just get to that in a second as I'm doing these levels here. So tonight, tonight I'm going to talk about the fix. And what the fix is basically saying, if you're struggling in this environment, which I mean, I had an amazing month. I probably had my best February ever. And and I got kind of, I lost probably about $40,000, give or take a little. Probably more take, but or whatever, but or give, the one that goes down. I think I lost like 39, 38, 39,000. We'll call it 40 grand just for numbers sake. Um, so, it definitely feels weird to end a month on that note because it definitely starts to cause some form of, could cause anxiety. It could cause people to be like, oh my God, is my edge lost? Is my this lost? And the real simple answer to that is no, it isn't. So that's the good thing about it. It isn't lost. Nothing is going to, oh my God, it's March 1st, right? Tomorrow? Not, nothing nothing inherently changed with the strategy as long as you're looking at the right thing. And I think that's the most eloquent way that I could say it. That's the most eloquent way I can go ahead and say it here. And, always try to add value and help each other do what you do. And I guess this is going to sort of be my thing to try to help others. And we're going to come back to just some rules. Most people make money to the long side. Here's the truth. I haven't done too much work on the short side yet. Yeah, I do call out short trades all the time. I find them hard because the price improvement. Now, I'm going to be running concurrently two softwares starting tomorrow. And if it works out well on one and sucks on the other, I'm going to point that out. And again, I'm not here to play favorites. I'm here to say, hey guys, this is what's I'm finding that's best. And at the end of the day, you're entitled to your own opinion and whatever. I'm just trying to bring value to the table. And I know I always say this, I'll never try to force anything down your throat. I'll never tell you to eat something and like it. If, I'm going to share my opinion and then you're more than welcome to have your own. And that's the power of a room. That's not a guru trying, every guru, they're like, this is bullish. This is bearish. This is where you buy. This is where you get stopped. This is where you get your take profit. Everybody is the same. We're all equal. But in all fairness, that is obviously It's a lie. As nice as that sounds, oh yeah, what? You don't think like I could just have every single person replicate my results exactly based on the amount of money they put in percentage wise, so they would get the same percentage return regardless of they put in more or less or the same? I would love that, but we all know that's bullshit. So why do people pretend? Why do 98% of these people fail if gurus tell you exactly what to do, exactly where to buy, exactly where to get stopped out? Why are people's results completely different? I'm not saying like, oh, if a bunch of people sell in the same spot and some people got a little slippage here and this person made a little less. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the 2% wildly successful and 98% failure. So how does that work exactly? Um, it doesn't, which is why I'm smart enough to tell you. I'm smart enough, I'm so smart. I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything. That's how smart I am. I'm smart enough to know that I do not know everything. The only difference is I'm admitting that. I'm not coming to you from a place like I'm not a human being. I'm not cramming the same bullshit down your throat and again telling you to like it. So I'm going to share with you some of the results that I found over the weekend and that I found technically you can't really disagree with them. You can have a stronger opinion. And you can say, I think I could do parts of this or all of this or none of this. And that's fine. But this is what I found. So why don't we do this? How do I go long? How do I do this? How do I do this? All right. So let's talk about how I do this. You ready? How do I go long? All right. This is going to be a little bit of, I think it's very obvious, but I'm going to spell out exactly what I mean. You're on the 8 EMA and 5 EMA. The 8 EMA must be the highest moving average on your 1 and 5 minute chart. So let's go talk about what that looks like. And then hopefully I can find some examples. This is going to be, in my opinion, your best case scenario for a strict non-news technical long, or maybe news as well, in all fairness. So if you have something like this, you know, for example, something like this, and you have the 200 moving. And by the way, purple's 200, yellow is 8, blue is the 21, and what do I use? The white one, right? I don't think I could use the white one here because I'm on a white background. But we'll use gray for the white for the 55, and we'll use the VWAP here somewhere around here, right? So what happens a lot of times? Watch this. So what happens a lot of times is you have a stock and it'll start going up and it'll go up here. And then it'll start digesting here and you might think it looks good because on the previous thing, I would say, well, look, it finally got over everything, which is a good sign and it still adds statistical value. Don't get me wrong. What I am saying is because this right here, this yellow is below this purple, your odds if you're looking to get back on track, it's a big no-no. Can't do it. Feel me? So how does this chart become better if you run into this scenario? All right, so let's say your chart looks like this. How does the 8 get back above the 200? What has to happen here with the stock? The yellow is the exponential H, Geronimo. It has to keep going up or even just grind sideways, right? No, don't be sorry, bro. Kidding me? It's all good. Or it could even go sideways because even if you get some crap that looks like this and like this or like this and you have like some red in between or whatever, let's say you get some stuff like that, naturally what's going to happen from here is this 8 is going to naturally go up higher. See what I mean? Because the 200 was counting bars from a lower point. And the 8 is doing it for more recent points, the last 8 bars as opposed to the last 200 bars. You get that? So all it has to do is go sideways or up. What it can't do, what it can't do here is that, which is what we've been seeing a lot, right? Are you guys with me? And if not, do you have any questions? Put a question mark at the end of your question. Even if it's not a question and it's just a statement, you want me to answer it. But do you guys get this? And if you don't, that's okay too. I would like to know why. It's not, oh, you're dumb, you're that. No, you crazy? We're family. Kidding me? If I was called dumb for every single thing that blew over my head, crazy, I would be in the Guinness book. The purple, so all right. So just so we're clear, all right. So the purple is the 200, the orange is the VWAP, the blue is the 21, the gray is the 55. Just so we're clear, the 8 has to be the highest bar. So it just matters where the yellow is. Doesn't matter where everything else is. The fact that the 200 was on top is a commonality when the market grinds lower. So let's even take Tesla from Friday. Um, all right, so let's take Tesla from Friday. On the left, you see a 1 minute chart. On the left, you see a 1 minute chart. On the right, you see a 5 minute chart. Okay. Ugh, I don't have all the moving averages here. I could add them in. Simple to. See, so here's the 200. So I just added the 200, but normally I would add everything else. I guess I could do it, just the VWAP and the exponential 55. We'll make that the 55. We'll make it white. Okay. So, all right. So here's the first 5 minute bar of the day. So if I'm on the right side here and I click this, you could see it highlights on the left side 5 of those 1 minute bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are inside this box here or touching inside this box, right? Here's the problem. You want to know what the problem was? You want to know what the problem was? Are you here, Pavo, my brother? Are you here, Pavo? I wish Pavo was here. So let's say you want to do a Mark 1 right over here. See this? It's looking good. It's looking good because right over here you see this on the left side, right? Let's say you just see this, right? Looks good, right? But then on the next bar, if you tried to front run it, which is something Pavo did, you lost money there. Good, Jerry. Good. I'm happy you lost money there. Why? Because you're going to learn a lesson that's going to make that back in more, in my humble opinion. This is a very important trade then for you. This is what's going to grow you. Hope you didn't lose too much. I hope you lost enough where you just learned the lesson on the cheap and grow. That's what I mean. You lost money, you jerk. Right. So what was wrong with this Mark 1 based on what I'm saying now? What is wrong with this Mark 1 right over here? Right over here. What's wrong with this Mark 1? So, yeah. ADMA's below what? Where? Right. You see, I didn't add all the moving averages on the 1 minute. I should probably do so because I'm giving you guys only part of a picture and I just realized that it wasn't on the left side. So I'm just going to quickly add the moving averages on the left side here real quick and just dump some free education on you. Okay. Well, the 200 moving average was out of the way because it only does the last 200, so you don't even see it. Okay, I get it. That's kind of weird, but anyway. So on the 1 minute right over here, Here's the key thing. It wasn't good for two reasons. And that wasn't obvious before, but I just added it now. It wasn't good, this Mark 1, because the 8 was below the VWAP. And it wasn't good on the 5-minute because the 8 was not the high. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter below this, below that, below that. In English, I'm going to make it very simple in English. The yellow line here has to be the highest point. I don't give a shit what's underneath there. The yellow bar on the right side has to be the highest point. I don't give a charitable donation what's underneath there. You feel me? VWAP at close. Something I should look into. 100% Geronimo. So just looking in the future, it's very important that it's the highest moving average, meaning it's above there. So it doesn't even matter what's below. Doesn't even matter what's below. Just as long as you have the yellow, doesn't matter where the blue is, doesn't matter where the 200 is, doesn't matter where the 55 is, doesn't matter where the orange is, just as long as this right over here is on top. And obviously you would, need your God, that was awful. You would need your stock somewhere above here. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need to go long. Now, it's hard to do statistical analysis. It's hard to do, and by the way, I got a haircut. Tell me what you guys think. Anyway, I can't stand hair. I want to shave it all off. My wife said no. Anyway, with that being said, thanks. With that being said, the 8 just simply has to be above everything on the 1 and 5-minute chart. Now, if you were to do this, now this is just visual perspective. I can't tell you if you would have gotten price improvement or not in the future if this happens, but this is what I can tell you. What was price improvement for me a week ago? Not last Monday to Friday, but the Monday and Friday before that, when a lot of people said trading was hard, I was able to do well on that week. What do you think my price improvement hit ratio was there in terms of good price improvement based on the plays I took from 2 weeks ago? Not last week, week before. If I followed this mentality over here, what would you guess? 92%. 92%. Good enough where I'm confident. If I didn't follow this, what was my price improvement at in terms of being able to make profit? Now, when I say price improvement, on an Amazon with a $1.50 spread, I may get filled 10 cents below the best offer. That's not good price improvement. This week, and by this week I mean like not crystal ball next week, in which I know, but like the week that just passed. You ready? 32%. Good, Sufyan. Not bad. You had the best number without going under. 32%. To me, that tells me the entire story I need to know. I want this to digest in your head. I want you to ask questions. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Ask every question you have now regarding this because this is going to be life changing. What do I do if? How does this work? How do I set it? Whatever. Ask it. I'm back. I'm back. All right, let's see what's happening. How do you figure price improvement? I was able to figure it out by trades that I could look at a chart and say that they went well, and I was able to make money on marketing in a row. That was my statistical basis on price improvement. If I was marketing and I see a green bar and I market it out and I was able to make what I consider normal money, I considered that good price improvement. Oh wow, T and Bob. Let's see. All right. And you could just click it and it automatically comes in. And here's the Mark 5. All right. Thank you. Source. Are you saying price improvement as in better execution prices than the bid ask was showing? Or do you mean 90% of those trades worked 2 weeks ago and only 32% of those trades worked last week? All right. So I don't mean it in yes, they were almost all better. They're almost always better than the bidder ask. All right, so that's a good question. So he's basically asking, um, better execution prices in terms of what the bid ask are showing. They were always better than that, but that doesn't mean it was good. So I'll give you an example. Amazon, you have a bid at $10 and an offer at 11.50. If I mark it in and I get a fill at $11.35 or $11.40, I can make an argument that it's price improvement, which is a fair argument, but it's not good. Now, if it's $10 by 11.50 and I mark it in and I get filled at 10.74, when it's $10 bid and 11.50 yes, and I get filled 10.74, 10.90, 11, 10.80, 10.60, that's good price improvement. Now, for the second part of your question, 90% of those trade works to we, uh, right. Well, the answer is I mean both of what you're saying. So even though I was getting price improvement, there's different shades of price improvement, if you will. I'm talking about good price improvement. So for the simple-minded slow learner like me and me, Harry, in short, the ADMA needs to be above all the EMAs, including the SMA, and the 1 minute to trade the Mark 1 on one. No, it always needs to be above on every time frame, on the 1 minute and 5 minute. To do a Mark 1, you want the 5 minute 8 on top as well. If you want the highest conviction, I'm not, any trade can work at any time. I'm not saying, oh, well, then your trade's going to fail or it's going to fail 90%. No, I'm saying if you want the highest hit rate. Now, don't underestimate something here. It's not about the trade working as well. That's only part of it. Just so we're clear. You guys get that, right? It's not about just your trade working. It's about your trade getting a good price improvement as opposed to a bad price improvement. Okay? I'll give you an example. There was a Tesla put trade. Now, I don't know how this works for the short side. I want to be crystal clear. You might say, well, could we do the opposite on the short side? The answer to that is I don't know. Maybe. But what you'll notice is when I'm talking here, just so we're clear, I'm talking about how to go long. I'm not sugarcoating it on the short side. I have to do more analysis. Now, if it's reverse and the ADMA is the lowest on the 1 and 5 minute, does that work? I did a little bit of it, and this is what I found. So, like, let's say, excuse me, let's say you wanted Tesla. Let's say you wanted Tesla, right? And you were looking to short Tesla on Friday. So here was Tesla on Friday. You see it started dropping and dropping, and right over here, for the first time, really, right over here, it sort of closed below everything. I mean, here, not really, because it just shot up right away, but here where you start thinking about it, and right over here, you could have done a Mark 1 to the short side. What I'm saying is this Mark 1 over here was a lot smoother at 9:54 a.m., which again is right over here on this red bar, right over here on this red bar. Now, why is it important that it's this red bar and not these red bars early on? Because early on, the moving averages were on top of you. Now I'll be the first to admit I don't know if it's a commonality because people on Fidelity were telling me that they had different experiences. But there was a Tesla put trade which I bought puts on a front run, a small front run. The stock dropped like 2.5 points. I marketed out and I lost like 50 cents. I'm like, um, should have made 70 cents to a dollar, maybe 60 cents, right? Like, I wasn't being greedy, but I definitely didn't want to lose money catching 2.5 points on Tesla because I decided to market order in and out. All right. Nylon, does the same thing apply to short? All right, yeah, so I was just going over your question now. Um, Coincidentally, maybe. If the ADMA works, it's way above all the averages seen in an hour. Then we then look for a chart reset. Um, Depending if all the strategies went off already. What if it's just the morning? That wouldn't be a bad thought though, Ron. Curbster. The 8 is below the other indicators at the open, but eventually crosses. Oh, is that confirmed? Yes. Yes. For myself, that would be confirmation that I can start going long intraday. Louis, this looks life changing. Thank you. Thank you for saying that because I don't think I can emphasize that point enough. Louis, this looks life changing. And I know it sounds simple. It is. I know it sounds too easy. It looks that way. Do not underestimate the complex ways that are needed to be done to find simplicity. Don't underestimate what needed to be done for me to give you a one sentence answer. Because I could delve down the rabbit hole deeper. I could see if I could try to save us 2, 3, 4, 5% better hit rate by going down to maybe another 30 parameters. But then it would get to the point where even if it did give you let's say I found a way to give you 5% better hit rate, but I added 20 more sentences in. You know how many trades you'd be missing? It would end up hurting you, not helping you. Do you understand that? You guys understand that, right? I could jump down that rabbit hole and I could just plummet down and I could give you a list of things that would make a rocket scientist's head hurt. You could be like, well, every time I do it this way, I'm right 95% of the time. How many trades did you do today? Zero. So you need something simple. Now to go to your question, because I didn't read that, I just stopped at those first four words. This looks life changing. Looking at all stocks that ran later in the day, once the 8 got above VWAP and it was the highest EMA, the stock ran up. What is the best way to apply this in a short scenario? You're asking the million dollar. I have more work to do, is my answer for you. So far, my guess, and it's a guess, would be the invert of this, where the 8 is the lowest. Rick, SSE price improvement on Friday was crazy. Showed $85 price improvement on a $2 spy call. Is this the effect of the room complaints taken to the limit? I don't know. I don't know. So if the market open minute, so it's market open minutes. I'm only using 1 minute charts. I have to open the 5 minute on the same symbol, make sure it's above the 8 as well? Yes. Or is that just the 8, the high CME, and it doesn't have to be above the 5 minute to go long? It has to be above in the 5 minutes. So here's the funny thing about it, David. Usually you don't have to look if the stock is gapped up 20, 30 points. You're usually good on the 5 minute charts. It's when these stupid stocks are up $1 or down $2 and go green. Feel me? Because on a 5 minute chart, wherever it is at the stock at the time, if you gap up so much, like when I say 20, 30 points, I'm talking like Amazon or, you know, a larger name. Tesla gapping up 15, 20 points will almost always be above the 5 minute 8. Will the 8 be the highest moving average after a huge down run? Maybe not. So yes, the answer is yes. So if you have to look at it, I have this up at all times. I have this up at all times, and I also have my 9 charts up at all times. So I have 2 charts going. Do you guys? I already shared with you. I already shared with you This layout. Do you guys want this layout again? Do you guys want my layout here? Yes or no? I'll share it again. I mean, I shared it 100 times, but maybe some of you didn't get it, or maybe some of you didn't know you wanted it at the time. Do you guys want it again? All right. There you go. In the comments and in the alerts. Enjoy. All right, moving on along. Does TC2000 have a scan to filter for stocks only trading above the 80 MA? I am 100% sure the answer is yes. I don't know how to code it or find out, but 100% sure the answer is yes. You would probably have to go on the forums and ask or email them. How do you figure the price in, well, how do you figure the price improving percentage? Is that based on the number of trades with and without? Uh, no, because almost every trade has price improvement. So it's not about with and without, it's the shade of price improvement. This is, Stu, this is crystal clear for me, makes all kinds of sense. So the easy stuff is instead of trying to ask how I mean, I explained how I figured it out. But for example, let's say you don't understand it. To me, that's 1% as important. The only important thing is if following these rules will change your P&L, make you profitable. That's the only important thing here. And the only way to do that is to look for the 5 minute, if you're going long, for the 1 and 5 minute 8 to be the highest point. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, then apply the C strategies and do what you're doing, of course, as well. But I mean, that's your, here I am. Now, what is this going to do? You're going to miss a lot of trades where the stock plummets and it runs all day and some people catch it, and God bless you. And I'll always look for that support. I'll tell you at this point in my career, that's not who I am. That is not what I identify as a trader. I identify as a profitable scalper. I'm trying to improve my overnights. I'm trying to improve a lot of things in what I'm always trying to improve. But right now, my identity as a trader, news flow, scalps. Sometimes I hold a little longer intraday, but not in this environment. There will be an environment where I'm holding positions a lot longer, just so we're clear. I know you probably saw a glimpse of that in the past few weeks, but that can continue. All right. Let's go to our next question here. And I know I haven't been going through the emails because I'm trying to I'm trying to put an emphasis on this. It's sort of like a priority thing, where this priority is for a lot of people to make money. I'm not ignoring anyone or downplaying your whatever. There's only a certain amount of minutes in a day, right? Seems like Curbster. Seems like it always works the same as shorting. Work great on Amazon after 10 once. Yeah. So that is going to be my first guess. Bigger Curbster. That's going to be my guess is it's going to be inverse. But right now, I do want to emphasize that's how I'm going to approach it. But I do want to emphasize that at this moment, for myself personally, it's a guess. I just want to highlight that. But yeah, I agree with you. Alrighty, can you confirm the 200 SMAs included in this? Yes. So the moving average is involved. So here's what's involved. Here is what the AEMA has to be above. Ready? The MA 21. Now remember, you're probably going to find moving averages. Like let's say use the simple 50 or the simple 20 or the simple 10 or the simple 30. Like a lot of times these are within the same range, but these are just the moving averages that I use. There's no better or worse. It's just what I use. The MA 100, the just we'll call it the MA 200 or 200 MA, whatever. It doesn't matter. VWAP. Let's double check that. Yep. So good. I'll post that in the alert. Um, Maybe I missed something, but I don't see the C strategies already requiring the ADMA to be the highest or lowest. Um, the thing you're missing is that I'm doing a live tweak. What I'm doing is the live tweak. So just so we're clear, whoops, just so we're clear, let me get this right here so I can show it to you. So for example, like I maybe the one and done is a bad example. So the know your limit 8 on the one. So if you read, right. So this is not located in the Mark 1. You're right, because this is an older slide. By older, I mean I did it on January 10th. It's not exactly old, but still everything applies. This is an addendum to the rules for the new environment. You don't have to follow these if you don't want. But this is what I feel needs to be followed for myself personally in order to potentially succeed in the environment today. This is what's going wrong with it. So if you're doing, for example, everything in the C strategies last week and all the names you're trading, and it breaks some of these rules here and you're making money, I don't give a shit. Like, go ahead and do it all day. I encourage it. Do what works for you. I was running into a snag last week, which again, you'll run into snags for the rest of your life as a trader. Don't don't be delusional and think otherwise. Don't be delusional and think otherwise. It'll always happen. How you bounce from the situation is what's going to ultimately define you. This is me trying to bounce from that situation. Okay. Um, so we need both no, 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 no. I just said moving average 200. You can add the MA 200 if you want. The ADMA just has to be the highest. It has to be above these moving averages. Now, maybe if it's just above the 200, it would work for you just as well. That might be the case. I don't know. But for me, the ADMA has to be above everything. It doesn't have to go in that order in terms of 8, 21, 55, and 200. Doesn't necessarily have to go in that order. It just has to be 8 followed by everything else. The 8, visually, it's much easier to explain. Just make sure this yellow bar here is on top of everything. That's it. It doesn't matter if the 2, it's the 100, the 21, the VWAP, doesn't matter. Just make sure the 8's on top. Thank you, Bob. T and Bob. Does the price have to be above the 8? Of course, if you're going long. Then you're basically going back in, for example, if you're doing a Mark 1, then you're just simply going to Rule 6, where it says make sure no higher moving average is located above your trigger. If you had a Mark 1 trigger and you had a moving average above you, then of course. All the rules still apply, Stu. It's just I'm also adding this. And this might change eventually. So we're clear too. Sorry if you answered this, but is this for Mark 1? It's for Mark 1s, for Mark 5s, it's for know your limits. How do you build back when you don't have buying power? Huh? What does that even mean? If you don't, you have zero buying power? If if your buying power if your buying power is too low to take a trade, I mean, it gets to the point where, I would just save money till if I wanted to trade to get back to that point. If you don't have buying power, how do you build back? I guess I'm a little confused with exactly what you're asking, sir. Are you saying you're currently on in margin and have a margin call? Oh, so when you have a margin call, you have to send the money? Or does your buying power look like cash? I'm not sure. Can you? Oh, well, is this for workhorse? It's such a screwed up thing, that workhorse. I mean, I don't exactly know what you want me to say here. Um, so let's say the positions go up, then you're fine. If they don't go up, what do you do? Are you able to trade while this margin call exists or no? I'm not exactly sure how to answer you, my brother. Are you asking me? I can't tell you if you should sell your positions or not. I can't legally tell you to do that. Ted, a 5 minute test on the 1 minute Mark 1 scan. You want the 5 minute price to be above the ADMA. Mm, all right, so TN Bob. So on the 5 minute test, you want the price to be above the ADMA, and you want the ADMA to be the closest parameter to the stock, meaning it's the highest, however you want to word that, and highest compared to what I'm showing you here. What about an R3 or trend line overhead nearby? Does that change anything? No, those tend to be reversal plays. So when you hit R3, it's usually because you are going down, going up, excuse me, and vice versa. Does the rule about the opening 1 and 5 minute high still apply here? Yes. The don't confuse it. When you say apply here, nothing applies here but what's shown here. This is just how I go long. Now, let's say you wanted to do a C strategy, you would sort of combine it with this. You would sort of combine it with this here if you wanted to do a C strategy. So you would take this and you would combine it as two. So it wouldn't be more, what's different? I'll show you what's different, Vic. Just let me get to, um, I'm not really sure what. So a simple answer, Jeff, would be yes if you're doing a C strategy that asks for that, if that's it. So you're just trying to understand what's different. So for example, Vic, you know what? Screw that. I'll show you this. So for example, Vic, right over, right over here, right over here on Friday, the 1 minute was above everything. You see? So this Mark 1 right over here should have been a legitimate attempt, whether it worked or not. The problem is in the future, you shouldn't take this Mark 1 because if you look at the 5 minute chart and the 1 minute chart, there's problems. In the 1 minute chart, the VWAP is above the 8. The orange line is above the yellow line. On the 5 minute chart, the 200 is above you, the 8 is way below things. So those are going to raise concerns on whether or not you should do the Tesla. You feel me? Do I mind doing the algo resistance on Amazon? Sure. It's right here. See it right over there. 31, 36, 77. I shared the levels, right? Spam them again, just in case I didn't. Okay. And did I tweet them? I can tweet them as well. Okay, did that. All right. Thanks. I mean, I'm at the point where like I sort of just want to buzz it all off. Hair is annoying. I never realized that until I started losing it. Hair is annoying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it would just be easier if I shaved it all off. My wife told me not to. I'm like, sweetheart, you're 5'1". I'm almost 6'4". You can't see what's going on up there anyway. Don't worry about it. I'd have to be like sitting down in a chair with you walking by to know what's up. Um, Hope. Oh yeah? All right. So, hi Mark. So this right here now, and now the go-to video. I wouldn't call this the go-to video. I would call this the go-to video along with the master video. The master video is the entire structure. This is how to put an umbrella over the house to make sure if it rains hard that everybody stays dry for now until the rain stops, would be my best analogy. Is there a YouTube link for this very stream? Yeah, I'll be sharing it with you right now. All right. Let's go ahead and share this with you. There you go. Is this a post 9:35 a.m. strategy? Not necessarily, because a 5-minute bar can. Well, given the recent Schwab issues, everything is a post 9:35 a.m. strategy for me at the moment until I fund Fidelity. Ding. But no, not necessarily. If the 5-minute is still above the thing before the candlestick closes, you're good. Um, let's see what's going on with the questions. All right, so I shared the link for ICO. If you make sure of that, Vic, you should be good. Just make sure it's on the 1 and 5 minute where the 8 is the highest. Mark, are shorts less conviction than longs for you personally, assuming all the criteria are met? Perhaps because puts have worse fills? Excuse me. Yes, Chase. Okay, now the price Needs to be above the ADMA with the ADMA above the V. No, the stacking order is not important. Not important as long as the ADMA is above everything on the 1 and 5 minute chart. Um, Nothing you can sell them. So just wondering, will it not be difficult to find those plays after a big correction? It might be difficult to find these plays after a big correction. Are you going to do a video on this? It's happening right now, Patterson. Um, right? Or a longer term correction? Sure. Yes, going long is very hard when the market plummets and corrects. In all fairness, we did have a real correction in the market, despite the all-time highs on the Qs is 338. We dropped to 311, so we dropped 28 points. We dropped 8-9%. It's a decent sized correction. What is my take on RMO? Like technically, it looks bearish. Always has. That didn't mean I didn't think it was a good overnight attempt over here when it gapped up that one day and it just sunk ever since. Sunk and stunk. Correct, Hope. So if people are trying my C strategies long, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you guys sort of an answer that will correct, as a generalization, the issues that happened last week. So can you guys give me real quick off the cuff? Where are two names that were just Give me two names that were one name that was rallying hard on Friday. Quick, napkin, FSR, ABNB, GME. Okay, whatever. Are you sure GME? Are you sure about that? We'll see. I'll just use those for now. Just in Twitter. All right, fine. I'll use four names. It doesn't matter. You could check all the names you're looking at too. I'm not going to go through all of them for the sakes of not going through all of them. All right. So let's go to the two charts here. We're going to show you the 1 minute on the left, 5 minute on the right. Uh, okay. Here's something awesome, actually. I'm glad you guys gave this example. I always like to ask for examples just to show that I'm not cherry picking. So right over here, you might have noticed it's a little funky on this Mark 1 and it shot up too hard to the point where you'd probably ignore it. I mean, just looking at the size of those bars early. And then over here, it looked like it could have gone, but then maybe you would have lost. And maybe over here, you would have tried it and it would have lost. My new strategy was saying stay away from Fisker over there. Now, of course, there's the 1 minute on the left, 5 minute on the right, just so we're clear. I'll, I'll take my mug off, actually. I'll make it easier for your digestive tracts. Wink, wink. All right, so right over here on the 1, you see all of a sudden it starts rallying over here. See? So on the 5 minute, just so we're clear, look at the 5 minute. This is the first bar on the 5 minute where the 8 got above everything. It also happened to be there here too. Now that the 8 was above everything here on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, this is the first time right around here where the 8 was above on the 1 minute and 5 minute. It was the 1120 to 1125 bar on the 5 minute. I'm not exactly sure which one of the 1 minutes did it over here for the stock, but um, wait, was it there or was it earlier? I'm sorry. It was, oh yeah, right. It was above everything. Right over here. Yeah, I'm right. 1120 to 1125. Now you come look at this Mark 5. Look at it. Look how beautiful it is. Right over here. Let's say after it happened, oh my God, you watch it go from $22.78 to $26. Oh Dios mío. Oh Dios santo. Oh, I missed it. Look at this gorgeous Mark 5. Tell me how pretty this looks, guys, really. But shoot straight with me. How pretty is that? Is that sweet? I got a good one for you. How about this 1 minute breakout here of 24.33 on the 1 minute right over here? See? This 1 minute right over here. Look how sweet. Oh my God, how beautiful. Hmm. Is it me or does the sexiness of these breakouts increase substantially when you do have this 8 above everything? Okay. Now, somebody said Airbnb. And there are more examples here which are working just whatever. I don't give a crap about the other examples, but just to show you. Let's see, somebody mentioned Airbnb. Okay, let's take a look. Now, there's one thing that's not fair with this. This is not fair. Why isn't this fair? Because it's an earnings name. So this is and it's sort of it's sort of not fair. But look over here. I think this is one I tried over here and lost money on. Look where the 8 is. It was telling me ignore it the whole time because the VWAP was above. Look, and then it worked here a little, and you probably missed that one, or maybe you did or didn't, and you didn't know why this one worked. Well, the first one sort of like chopped you out at a wide loss. But right over here, at 10:45 to 10:50, right over here is where the 1 minute and 5 minute ADMA were the highest points. This is the first time it happened on Airbnb. Now look at the Mark 1 that came afterwards. Not the sexiest, but it went back to day highs and worked. Look at the 21. Boing. Look at the Mark 5 over here. Boing. Right, Bex? I love you, Baxter. I feel you, girl. So when it goes back to life changing, who said that again? Was it someone with an S? But anyway, this is life changing. I'm not cherry picking right now, and I still don't think Airbnb is a fair example. Why even mention GME? I guess you're trying to put my I guess you're trying to put my stuff to the test over here. So on GameStop on Friday, let's see, you could just really follow the 5 minute 8 first. Right over between 3 and 305, between 3 and 305, right over here was the first time. Was the 8 above the view up? No, it actually closed here for the first time, right over here. So this was the first between 255 and 3. Was slightly below here by 7 cents, but right over here for the first time it took the entire day. The 5 minute was 8 was the highest, and the 1 minute 8 was the highest. So really, what I'm noticing is you could always look at the 5 minute first as a generalization to get your conviction. So right over here for the first time between 3 and 305, between 3 and 305 is where everything was above. But the problem was, as it was setting up, it was just falling. And granted, maybe you could have caught this little 21 moving average thing here, but it went down right away. It was only above for a second. And the good thing was it didn't set you up for a real trade. Actually, I'm mistaken. It did. Literally, after this bar closed, you could have done a 1 minute 21 right here. The first trade you would have done would have gone up $2.40, $2.39 to be exact, and then a little higher, a couple points higher, right afterwards. Look at that. And you want to know what's funny about this? The first time it happened, this is the first bar it gave you. It opened at the low point and closed at the high point. Look at that. See that? That's the first trade it gave you afterwards. How funny is that? And then afterwards, so the first trade you could have done would have worked, and then the 5 minutes sunk below, literally on the next 5 minute candle, then it's done. So it literally gave you one for one working trade based on the C strategies, of course, and then failed out. So GME would have worked, and again, giving me the definitely the more dramatic examples without a doubt. Twitter. Did Twitter report as well? Was Twitter earnings there as well? I guess you guys are putting my stuff to the test here. Anyway, so on Twitter, the 8 was never above VWAP. The 8 was never above VWAP. Conference call for revenue boost, thank you. Except for right over here for the first time at 11 a.m. So this bar between 10:55 and 11 was the first bar that stuff could have worked. Okay? Just so we're clear. Look, check it out. See this 8? We want the 8 on top of everything. It happened here for the first time on this bar between. Huh? Why isn't it showing up on this side? Oh, am I on Friday? Oh, I'm on Thursday on that side. Whoops. Duh. I was looking at Thursday's 5 minute bars. Let me start over with that. The first time the 8 was above the VWAP was right over here at 11:30, between 11:25 and 11:30 on Friday. I was looking at Thursday's 5 minute bars. So just so we're clear, officially, it was actually officially right over here because the 8 was 2 cents above the VWAP when the bar closed. So it was no hindsight or anything like you saw close. Then what happened is it might have shot up without you because that's when it gave you a really extend. These are in 2 minutes. The stock went up a little less than $1 after 11 o'clock. So kind of a big move there. Um, so the first trade it would have given you, the first trade it would have given you was actually this little Mark 1 here. And I wouldn't say it worked or failed because it sort of just held up but did that. Then it did a little know your limit 8 here, which gave you a micro scalp at best, small win, average. You know, you're not going to lose a lot on that. And then it gave you some really whippy plays that you could argue either would work or not work. And, you know, as the day went on, there were obviously other setups here, like right over here. But I'm not going to go through every single C setup and say this one worked, this one worked, this one didn't, this one worked, this one didn't, this one worked. I'm not going to go through that. But I will tell you right now that from what I've noticed, your hit rate is better. And just to be honest, like I wouldn't trade GME on this. I wouldn't trade Twitter on this. I wouldn't trade ABNB on this. I might trade Fisker on this one. I might have done the FSR on this one, but that would have been it. For myself personally, you know, maybe I would have done Twitter with a little bit of shares, but like the point is, you see what I'm getting at. Twitter is not going to give you the same move as Amazon. Like, do I prefer Amazon? Do I prefer Tesla? Do I prefer Netflix? Do I prefer Square? Do I prefer some of these names to be located and set up the same way? Yes. Um, no, you didn't get that wrong, D Rambui. That still applies. So all these setups I'm showing you here, you're actually you are following through with that, where you are, you know, moving above the first 1 and 5 minute high. You are abiding by that still. But yes, that's still everything that's on the C strategies remained. Nothing changed. Thank you for sharing, T and Bob. Appreciate you. Look how easy it is. You just click it in and you have it. Tesla never did exactly. So Tesla should have never been along. Exactly. Just keep in mind, this is new information I'm giving to you today from this weekend. So I wish I was applying this last week. I can't turn back time, but I could change what I do in the future. Guy, if you're under the 1 in 5 minute at the open, the security's rallying hard, the chart resets go, all the move, and the name is overall moving on this. Um, as long as the 8 is highest on the 1 in 5, you're good, Guy. You're good. You'll be good after that. Okay. Now remember, you could still do a 21. The stock could be below the 8. But if you're using the 21, the 8 still has to be the highest bar. The stock doesn't necessarily have to be above the 8. You hear? You understand that, right? Yes, it's located our trade right over there. And it's inside the alert window. You're welcome. I'll tweet it out. We'll call it tweak and fix. Did you guys find this valuable tonight? I mean, be honest. Maybe you did or didn't. Like for me, this is like the shit that's gonna change for me next week, personally. Okay. Even if some of you are in the back or who don't feel it, it's okay. I will do things. Some of you are like, Mark, just fix the swing trading crap instead of this scalp stuff. I'm working on that too. Like, don't think I'm not. This is just quick fix. Hence why the video is called The Fix. Okay. I want this to resonate with you. I want you to think about how am I going to apply this tomorrow, and what if none of these things set up? I don't know if the market's gapping up or down. At the moment, the market looks like it's going to gap up effing huge at the moment. It looks like we have a huge gap up coming into tomorrow. Is anybody curious why I think that and doesn't understand? You ready? You're ready? Enter. Keep that website with you at all times, ladies and gentlemen. It's a TARP. All right. All right. So, now that could change. We could gap down. Anything can happen, but so far it looks strong. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show tonight. Let it resonate with you. How are you going to change tomorrow? Happy trading, make money. I will see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast.